Alright then, we're back. Took a couple days off. Sadly, I was very sick and not feeling well. But we are going to finish off our hybrid supercar week. And today we are going to work with the BMW i8. Or I guess how the title says it all, right? So, some facts about the i8. It has 369 horsepower and 420 torque, which is a lot less than the other three cars that we covered this week. But those three are like the tippy top of these vehicles. They're all in the roughly $1 million range. This one comes in at around 150 to 180,000, probably a bit more with packaging and stuff. Dealers probably sell them for 200,000, that kind of range. But they come in significantly lower than the Porsche, the McLaren, and the Ferrari. And some of the reasoning is it has a 3-cylinder, 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, making a little over 200 horsepower. That's it. That crazy, almost concept-looking car comes with a 3-cylinder. So, that's where a bit of the price drop comes from. It is a plug-in hybrid like the Porsche and the McLaren. Its range on its only electricity is only 18 miles. But in the UK, or in Europe, they were allowed to turn it up to 24 miles. I'm not exactly sure why. It has something to do with the laws on how much gasoline can be actually used during full electric mode. For us, it's none, but they, I guess, can get away with using a little bit is allowed, so it could get a little bit more out of its all-electric mile range, which then again means it's not really all-electric. But even though it only has a 3-cylinder and only has 360 plus torque, or horsepower, my bad, 400 torque, it is still very quick. It is available in a 2 or 4-seater option, which is also differentiating it from the rest of the pack, as they've all been only 2-seaters, which is very common for this kind of car. But it can do a 0-60 in 4.2 seconds. Now, to put that into perspective, Mustang GT, coming in with over 400 horsepower, can only do, I say only, does it in 4.4 seconds. So, even though it has a 3-cylinder and 360 horsepower, it is still very light and can do a 0-60 faster, which is pretty interesting. It does have, sorry about that, it does have the lowest top speed at 155 mile per hour. But again, this car is very different than the other ones. It is more of a, let's say, luxury hybrid. Not that the other ones aren't luxurious, but they're more track oriented. They're a bit more harsh. This one is a lot nicer to drive. The styling is very elegant. It's very cool looking, but it still keeps like the BMW bow tie. The styling was actually made after a BMW M1 concept back in the early 2000s. This was a concept car for an M1 design, and then they just decided to kind of get rid of the M1, and now, or they decided to get rid of the idea of this being an M1 and decided to make its own car and started the BMW I branch, which is their electric and hybrid their branch, I guess. So it was kind of the start of all that. It came back only in 2014, so not that long ago, but I don't know, 4 years in the car industry is starting to seem like longer and longer every year. I mean, look at the Mustang 4 years ago. That was a much different vehicle than it is today in 2018. It does only have a 6-speed auto, but I imagine it being BMW 6-speed is probably better than most of the ones you get nowadays. It's probably very quick and things like that. Only takes 2.4 hours to charge its batteries all the way, and with batteries plus gasoline, it gets 69 miles to the gallon, so just like the other ones, it's getting very good gas mileage and things like that. So still staying true to the hybridness of it, still being very economical. And like I said earlier, it's a lot more luxurious on the inside. It's a nicer place to be. It's not very loud. It's very quiet on the inside. You don't have a crazy engine going behind you, which, some people want, but when you are getting this type of car, that is something that you might look for. So it's not as crazy of a vehicle as the others, but it's a much nicer vehicle. And I'd say that the other ones are nice, they're still millions of dollars, but I think you know what I mean. So it is a very cool rendition of this vehicle. I wanted to put it in so that there is an option of what other hybrid supercars are like, instead of having just veracity of raw performance, just crazy all the time, always going 100 plus miles an hour, things like that, of like the McLaren and the Ferrari. This one takes it a step back. This one really, it slows it all down, just comes in with that wonderful styling, and as you can see through here, whoops, my bad. Yeah, there's actually holes going through the body, and that is part of the brake light. So just from the rear end, it just looks phenomenal. Everything about it just really looks on point. And of course, it's got a it is mid-engined, if you want to even say it has an engine. I mean, 1.5 liter 3-cylinder. It does have like the trunk up front, like most of these vehicles. So it's not as crazy as a V12, but it is still very interesting that they decided to go with such a tiny motor and not just stick with a 2-liter 4-cylinder like everyone else in the industry. But that's what they decided, and it worked out pretty well. The car is a very good-looking car, although it hasn't been selling the best because it is weird, is the best way to describe it. They just released their Spider version, their hardtop convertible, which actually takes this down from a 4-seater to a 2-seater. But how many people are going to use this as a 4-seater? Just like the McLaren Speedtail, how many people are really going to use that for all 3 seats all the time? So might as well just go with the Spider version, even though it will be a touch more expensive, just a couple $10,000. I really like it. I've always liked the i8. It doesn't actually sound the worst driving by. You wouldn't be able to tell that it's a 3-cylinder. It is different than anything you've ever heard, but you won't go like, oh my goodness, that thing sounds terrible. It's not bad. And it has actually died down in its fame the last couple years since it's been out, because when it first came out, everyone was going like, oh my goodness, look at that new BMW. Look at it. It's a hybrid. It's a 3-cylinder. Look, it's good. Look at the taillights. Oh my goodness. Well, it's been out for a few years and it's kind of died down. Now the new crazy things are the new, again, McLaren Speedtail and Senna, the new Ferrari, those kind of things. Those are, hopefully Lamborghini will bring out something crazy, but now they have the Aventador SVJ, and those are all wicked looking cars, and they've kind of taken the limelight away from the i8 in the last couple of years, since they haven't done anything really new with the i8. They haven't given it any more power or anything. It's been the same car for the last couple of years, even though it's still a very good car. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. I like the i8. I hope you all do as well. Again, we're going to try this new format for single out. Tell me if y'all like it or if there's anything we should change. But as always, like, comment, subscribe, comment any kind of vehicles you'd like us to talk about, anything detailing related you'd like to know, and I will see you in the next video.